Storytime, playing Skyrim with friends. Several people will probably pop in and out of my Discord channel and chat with us while I read stories. This is a slightly modded version of Skyrim. Nothing affects the actual game itself. The mods that I put in, of course, was the texture pack and a pack that makes the books glow if I have not read them, which is the point of this. Every time I come across a book that I have not read, I stop and I read it to you. That's the point of this. We're going to play together, we're going to see what's what, and hopefully enjoy some Skyrim. I was a fool a long time ago who bought the game, became Thane of Whiterun, and thought that was the end of the game. Don't ask me why. This was years ago. But I did, so I'm like, God, I don't know why everyone's talking about this game. In reality, I hadn't even scratched the surface. So this is going to be new to me, and hopefully it'll reignite yourself to maybe go play the game? Maybe? We'll see. Let's get to it. Alright. This is where I left off. We made it. What? Did I catch a disease? Yeah, retrieve Golden Claw. Talk to the Jester. Speak to the leader of the companions. Join the rebellion. Did I at least tell the Jarl of Windhelm? Nope. That's where I left off. And that person said I'm sick. So we're going to go hit up the statue of Talos. Talos. Oh, what are you giggling about? Oh, Fox McFox. Oh, good lord.
Your poor voice.
What about my voice?
You're gonna be reading a lot.
Okay.
But thankfully you'll read less and less each time.
Probably. There, see? All diseases are cured. Now people will hopefully...
Yeah, it's kind of amusing to, I'm watching this, but there's like a 5-second delay.
I figured. I did.
I just like, really? That's like less than an hour's worth of gameplay, and you're like,
I'm done.
It's an Elder Scrolls game.
I didn't invite you to join me today to pick on me.
Oh, but I will. If there was a way I can be in that stream so people can hear me picking on you.
They can.
They can hear me?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
With friends like these, what can I say? I did. I saw it. Should I be sarcastic? Nah, let's.
How would you honestly reply?
The first one, really. Sarcastic till the day I die.
Play it as you truly would, how you would in your soul. And knowing you, it'll be a whole lot funnier.
I'm hoping to play this game 3 times. I want to try to do like an archer, sneaky person who tries not to get hit. I want to play a mage, and then I want to play a Fosrolda warrior big Nordman. I think the mage will be a Thalmor, and my big badass warrior will be a kitty. Because I'm a kitty cat. That's right, I did you a service.
Which one?
What'd you give me? What'd you give me? What'd you give me? Hopefully shiny gold coins. Yeah. Yes, dear. Come on, big boy. Let's go. Let's go talk to Farengar, who during this interaction has like the worst voice acting on the planet. Stare at me with your mutton chop glory. You always thought that he just had a really skinny face, but then he turned to the side and you realize those are mutton chops.
I didn't even realize that.
It's so dark, right? See how dark? But see, those are mutton chops. See the hair?
Yeah, I see it now.
See how skinny his face looks with it, though?
I mean, I figured it was like an Ultima or something.
I know!
They fucking look weird, so...
But now that you know they're glorious freaking thick-ass mutton chops, you have a little more respect for his beard game?
Absolutely not. I'm horrified.
Okay, I'm kind of slightly horrified as well.
Like... I prefer his face being skinny. That looks less weird.
Than those epic sideburns. It's a shame he's not eligible for husbando material.
God, no. I married Jarl Aldrich before I marry him.
You know, he doesn't please me.
Me neither, but still.
Well, I have to agree with you. I think if it's between, you know, Farengar and Jarl Balgruuf all day.
So, I'm over here trying to play my game of Skyrim, and I'm getting distracted by staring at you.
Well, yes, because we're in the Dragon's Reach. There are books in this place for days.
I know, he's like...
So story time, it's gonna be story time.
Your poor voice. That's what I was laughing about earlier.
Students of the craft, you'll need to start by learning an enchantment. Take an enchanted weapon or piece of armor.
Yeah, I didn't know how to do this either until you guys played with me.
The item is
How to disenchant.
you wear it. Once you
I just sold everything.
you'll use the arcane enchanter for that.
Everything.
And you gotta imagine how much I got lost.
Oh god, no.
Prospective student, are you? Well, I'm afraid I'm not much good at teaching.
I want a quest to go there so I can read all their books.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be there forever.
You know, if you've got the
Uh-huh.
you should join the Mages College in Winterhall. Dragons move quickly. Forest to
I'm just running around, half distracted in this cave, losing myself over and over again.
Alright, first we're gonna disenchant some stuff. Let's see, this novice hood. And these robes. Oh crap! I'm naked. This is now not safe for work. Okay. I'm not gonna run around nude all day because that's just
Boobies.
there. I'm no longer look, see? See, covered. Nakedness achievement no longer. Okay. Now, I know his bedroom. Yeah, I'm going up in your bedroom. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Sneak, sneak, sneak. I know he's got... Dude, where's all your books? I know there's books in here. Stop looking at me.
She doesn't know who's I came in.
Stop looking at me, Farengar. I found books! Oh no. Alright, let me take a drink of this tea. Alright, it's time for story time. Alright, we're going to start with Nords of Skyrim. Nords of Skyrim, my people, my pride. Respected reader, my name is Hrothman Wolfhart, and I am a Nord. But more importantly, I am a Nord born and raised in the land of Skyrim. I write this volume in the desperate hope that the rest of Tamriel can come to know my people as they deserve to be known, and understand this province for what it truly is, a place uncontested beauty and culture. Some of what you know is undoubtedly true. Physically, we Nords are an impressive, often imposing sight. Tall of stature, strong of bone, and thick of muscle. Our hair is often fair and worn braided, as has been the custom for generations. Often we are swathed in the hides of beast, for such creatures are abundant in Skyrim, and we would be foolish not to take advantage of such an available resource. Having read this far, you may be shocked at the strength of my words and the literacy of a northern savage. Oh, aye, many Nords can both read and write. My father began my instruction in the way of letters when I was but a bairn, as did his father and his father before him. But the accomplishments of the children of Skyrim are multitude, and go beyond mere wordcraft. For we are artisans as well, and through the ages have learned to manipulate steel the way a sculptor would clay. Indeed, I have seen with mine own eyes visitors from High Rock and Cyrodiil weep in disbelief as they beheld the blades wrought in the fires of the Skyforge, and honed to beautiful deadliness by the gods' touched hands of Clan Greymane. But how can this be true, you ask? How are such achievements possible from a people who have yet to emerge from the muck and snow? Again, provincial bias clouds the truth. The cities of Skyrim are a testament to Nord ingenuity and craftsmanship. Chief among them are Solitude, seat of the High King and capital of the province, Windhelm, ancient and honored, a jewel in the snow, Markarth, carved into the living rock itself in ages long since past, Riften, nestled in the golden shadows of the fall forest, whence come delicious fish and mead, and Whiterun, built around the hall of Jorvaskr, home of the most noble companions and revered Skyforge. And now, respected reader, you have the full measure of it. We Nords are everything you imagined, and so much more. But let not this work be your only gateway to the truth. Book passage on carriage or vessel and make the journey north. See Skyrim with thine own eyes. See Skyrim as have the Nords since the gods first shaped the world. Interesting. We are Nords. Big old Nords. Holy crap, every book is glowing. Really? I'm not catching a break today. Nope.
No such luck. There's 300 plus books in the game?
There's what? What?
Hundreds of
What?
books.
Wow, so this challenge was not smart on my part.
Yo.
Down there. I'm gonna drag you down here. Alduin is real, and he Ent Akatosh by Thrumgar Ironhead, Proud Nord. As my dad used to say, Imperials are idiots. IDIUTTS. I guess that's their version of SMRT. That is why I am writing this book. I ain't never wrote a book before, and I do not reckon to write one again. But sometimes a man must do what a man must do. And what I must do is set the record straight about the god called Akitosh and the dragon called Alduin. They ain't the same thing, no matter what the Imperials might say or how they might wish it to be so. My dad was never one for the gods, but my ma was. She worshipped all the divines and taught me lots of things. So I know a thing or two about Akatosh, just as much as any Imperial. I know he was the first of all the gods to take shape in the beginning place. And I know he has the shape of a dragon. My dad even told me the story of Martin Septim and the things what happened when the gates to oblivion opened. Septim turned into the spirit of Akatosh and killed Mehrunes Dragon. Now I don't know about you, but any dragon that fights the Prince of Destruction is okay by me. Now, I hope you understand the problem. Akatosh is good. Everyone from Nord to Imperial knows that. But Alduin, he ain't good. He the opposite of good. That Alduin is evil through and through. So you see, Akatosh and Alduin can't be one and the same. Growing up as a lad in Skyrim, I heard all the stories told to me by my dad, who was told by his dad, who was told by his dad, and so on. One of these stories was about Alduin. But see, he was not Akatosh. He was another dragon, and a real one at that. Akatosh is some kind of spirit dragon, I think. When he bothers to be a dragon at all and not a god living in some kind of god place like Oblivion. But Alduin is a real dragon with flesh and teeth and a mean streak longer than the White River. And there was a time when Alduin tried to rule over all of Skyrim with his other dragons. In the end, it took some mighty strong heroes to finally kill Alduin and be done with his whole sorry story. So I gotta ask, does that sound like Akatosh to you? No, friend. No, it does not. And so I, Thrumgar Ironhead, do firmly say with the utmost conviction that Alduin is real, and he ain't Akatosh. That went redneck real quick.
God.
Hey.
That was painful to listen to you. Good lord.
But it's how it was written, too!
I know.
I had to roll with
Mine
it.
was on the inside every time.
Just a little bit. Oh, man. Him's proud Nord. Him was smart. Who's stomping? Go away. I'm reading here. Don't disturb me. Come here. Oops. Alright. Next up. Oh, I hope that's a Z, not a 3. The Ruins of Kamel Z by Rollard Nordson. With the acclamations of the Fellows of the Imperial Society still ringing in my ears, I decided to return to Morrowind immediately. It was not without some regret that I bade farewell to the flesh pots of the Imperial City. But I knew that the wonders I had brought back from Raled Makai had only scratched the surface of the Dwemer ruins in Morrowind. Even more spectacular treasures were out there, I felt, just waiting to be found, and I was eager to be off. I also had before me the salutary example of poor Bannerman, who was still dining out on his single expedition to Black Marsh 20 years ago. That would never be me, I vowed. With my letter from the Empress in hand, this time I would have the full cooperation of the Imperial authorities. No more need to worry about attacks from superstitious locals.
Rednecks telling your voice.
But where should I look next? The ruins of Kemelz were the obvious choice. Unlike Raled Makai, getting to the ruins would not be a problem. It's also known as the Cliff City. Kemelz lies on the mainland side of the Vardenfell Rift, sprawling down the sheer coastal cliff. Travelers from the east coast of Vardenfell often visit the site by boat, and it can also be reached overland from the nearby villages without undue hardship. Once my expedition had assembled in Sedanin, with the usual tedious complications involved in operating this half-civilized land, we set out for the village of Marag near the ruins, where we hoped to hire a party of diggers. My interpreter, Tuen Panai, an unusually jolly fellow for a dark elf, who I had hired in Sedanin at the recommendation of the local garrison commander, assured me that the local villagers would be very familiar with Kemelz, having looted the site for generations. Incidentally, Tenpenny, as we soon came to call him, to his constant amusement, proved invaluable, and I would recommend him without hesitation to any of my colleagues who are planning similar expeditions to the wilds of Morrowind. At Marag, we ran into our first trouble. The hetman of the village, a reserved, elegant old fellow, seemed willing to cooperate, but the local priest, a representative of the absurd religion they have here, worshipping something called the Tribunal, who they claim actually lives in palaces in Morrowind, was fervently against us excavating the ruins. He looked likely to sway the villagers to his side with his talk of religious taboos. But I waved the Empress's letter under his nose and mentioned something about my friend the garrison commander of Sedanin, and he quieted right down. No doubt this was just a standard negotiating tactic arranged among the villagers to increase their pay. In any event, once the priest had stalked off, muttering to himself, no doubt calling curses down upon the heads of the foreign devils, we soon had a line of villagers eager to sign on to the expedition. While my assistant was working out the mundane details of contracts, supplies, etc., Master Aram and I rode on to the ruins. By land, they can only be reached using narrow paths that wind down the face of the cliff from above, where any misstep threatens to send one tumbling into the sea, foaming about the jagged rocks below. The city's original entrance to the surface must have been in the part of the city to the northeast, the part that fell into the sea long ago when the eruption of Red Mountain created the mind-bogglingly vast crater. After successfully navigating the treacherous path, we found ourselves in a large chamber, open to the sky on one side, disappearing into the darkness on the other. As we stepped forward, our boots crunched on piles of broken metal, as common in dwarven ruins as potsherds in the other ancient sites. This was obviously where the looters brought their finds from deeper levels, stripping off the valuable outer casings of the dwarven mechanisms and leaving their innards here. Easier than lugging the intact mechanisms back up to the top of the cliff. I laughed to myself, thinking of the many warriors unwittingly walking around Tamriel with pieces of dwarven mechanisms on their backs. For that, of course, is what most, quote-unquote, dwarven armor really is. Just the armored shells of ancient mechanical men. I sobered when I thought of how exceedingly valuable an intact mechanism would be. This place was obviously full of dwarven devices. Judging from the litter covering the floor of the vast chamber, or had been, I reminded myself. Looters have been working over this site for centuries. Just the casing alone would be worth a small fortune, sold as armor. Most dwarven armor is made of mismatched pieces from various devices, hence its reputation for being bulky and unwieldy. But a match set from an intact mechanism is worth more than its weight in gold, for the pieces all fit together smoothly, and the wearer hardly notices the bulk. Of course, I had no intention of destroying my finds for armor, no matter how valuable. I would bring it back to the Society for Scientific Study. I imagined the astonished cries of my colleagues as I unveiled it at my next lecture, and smiled again. I picked up a discarded gear from the piles at my feet. It still gleamed brightly, as if newly made. The dwarven alloys resisting the corrosion of time. I wondered what secrets remained hidden in the maze of chambers that lay before me, defying the efforts of looters waiting to gleam again in the light they had not seen in long eons. Waiting for me. It remained only to find them. With an impatient gesture to Master Aram to follow, I strode forward into the gloom. Master Aram, Tenpenny, and I spent several days exploring the ruins, while my assistants set up camp at the top of the cliff and hauled supplies and equipment from the village. I was looking for a promising area to begin excavation. A blocked passage or corridor untouched by looters that might lead to completely untouched areas of the ruins. We found 2 such areas early on, but soon discovered that the many winding passages bypassed the blockage and gave access to the rooms behind. Nevertheless, even these outer areas, for the most part, stripped clean of artifacts by generations of looters, were full of interest to the professional archaeologist. Behind a massive bronze door, burst from its hinges by some ancient turmoil of the earth, we discovered a large chamber filled with exquisite wall carvings, which impressed even the jaded Tenpenny, who claimed to have explored every dwarven ruin in Morrowind. They seemed to depict an ancient ritual of some kind, with a long line of classically bearded dwarven elders processing down the side walls, all seemingly bowing to the giant form of a god carved into the front wall of the chamber, which was caught in the act of stepping forth from the crater of a mountain in a cloud of smoke or steam. According to Master Aram, there are no known depictions of dwarven religious rituals, so this was an exciting find indeed. I set a team to work prying the carved panels from the wall, but they were unable to even crack the surface. On closer examination, the chamber appeared to be faced with a metallic substance with the texture and feel of stone. Impervious to any of our tools, I considered having Master Aram try his blasting magic on the walls, but decided that the risk of destroying the carriage was too great. Much as I would have preferred to bring them back to the Imperial City, I had to settle for taking rubbings of the carvings. If my colleagues in the society showed enough interest, I was sure a specialist could be found, perhaps a master alchemist, who could find a way to safely remove the panels. I found another curious room at the top of a long winding stair, barely passable due to the fall of rubble from the roof. At the top of the stair was a domed chamber with a large, ruined mechanism at its center. Painted constellations were still visible in some places on the surface of the dome. Master Aram and I agreed that this must have been some kind of observatory, and the mechanism was therefore the remains of a dwarven telescope. To remove it from the ruins down the narrow stairway would require its complete disassembly, which fact no doubt had preserved it from the attention of looters. So I decided to leave it in place for the time being. The existence of this observatory suggested, however, that this room had once been above the surface. Closer examination of the structure revealed that this was indeed a building, not an excavated chamber. The only other doorways from the room were completely blocked, and careful measurements from the top of the cliff to the entry room and then to the observatory revealed that we were still more than 200 feet below the present ground level. A sobering reminder of the forgotten fury of Red Mountain. This discovery led us to focus our attentions downward. Since we now knew approximately where the ancient surface lay, we could rule out many of the higher blocked passages. One wide passage, impressively flanked with carven pillars, particularly drew my interest. It ended in a massive rockfall, but we could see where looters had begun and then abandoned a tunnel through the debris. With my team of diggers and Master Aram's magery to assist, I believed we could succeed where our predecessors had failed. I therefore set my team of dark elves to work on clearing the passage, relieved finally to beginning the real exploration of Kemelz. Soon, I hoped my boots would be stirring up dust that had lain undisturbed since the dawn of time. With this exciting prospect before me, I may have driven my diggers a bit too hard. Tenpenny reported that they were beginning to grumble about the long days and that some were talking of quitting. Knowing from experience that nothing puts heart back into these dark elves like a taste of the lash, I had the ringleaders whipped and the rest confined to the ruins until they had finished clearing the passageway. Thanks Stendar for my foresight in requisitioning a few legionnaires from Sedanin. They were sullen at first, but with the promise of an extra day's wages when they broke through, they soon set to work with a will. While these measures may sound harsh to my readers back in comforts of civilization, let me assure you that there is no other way to get these people to stick to a task. The blockage was much worse than I had first thought, and in the end, it took almost 2 weeks to clear the passage. The diggers were as excited as I was when the picks finally broke through the far end into emptiness, and we shared a round of the local liquor together. A foul concoction, in truth. To show that all was forgiven, I could hardly restrain my eagerness as they enlarged the hole to allow entry into the chamber beyond. Would the passage lead to entire new levels of the ancient city, filled with artifacts left by the vanished dwarves? Or would it only be a dead end, some side passage leading nowhere? My excitement grew as I slid through the hole and crouched for a moment in the darkness beyond. From the echoing sounds of the stones rattling beneath my feet, I was in a large room, perhaps very large. I stood up carefully and unhooded my lantern. As the light flooded the chamber, I looked around in astonishment. Here were wonders beyond even my wildest dreams. As the light from my lamp filled the chamber beyond the rock wall, I looked around in astonishment. Everywhere was the warm glitter of dwarven alloys. I had found an untouched section of the ancient city. My heart pounding with excitement, I looked around me. The room was vast, the room soaring up into darkness beyond the reach of my lamp, the far end lost in shadows with only tantalizing glimmer hinting at treasures not yet revealed. Along each wall stood rows of mechanical men, intact, except for one oddity. Their heads had been ritually removed and placed on the floor at their feet. This could mean only one thing. I had discovered the tomb of a great dwarven noble, maybe even a king. Burials of this type had been discovered before, most famously by Ransom's expedition to Hammerfell. But no completely intact tomb had ever been found until now. But this was truly a royal burial. Where was the tomb? I stepped forward gingerly, the rows of headless bodies standing silently as they had for eons, their disembodied eyes seeming to watch me as I passed. I had heard wild tales of the curse of the dwarves, but had always laughed it off as superstition. But now, breathing the same air as the mysterious builders of this city, which had lain undisturbed since the cataclysm that spelled their doom, I felt a twinge of fear. There was some power here, I felt, something malevolent that resented my presence. I stopped for a moment and listened. All was silent, except it seemed I heard a faint hiss, regular as breathing. I fought down a sudden urge of panic. I was unarmed, not thinking of danger in my haste to explore past the blocked passage. Sweat dripped down my face as I scanned the gloom for any movement. The room was warm, I suddenly noticed. Much warmer than the rest of the labyrinth thus far. My excitement returned. Could I have found a section of the city still connected to a functioning steam grid? Pipes ran along the walls, as in all sections of the city. I walked over and placed my hand on one. It was hot, almost too hot to touch. Now I saw that in places where the ancient piping had corroded, small jets of steam were escaping, the sound I had heard. I laughed at my own credulity. I now advanced quickly to the far end of the room, giving a cheerful salute to the ranks of mechanical soldiers who had appeared so menacing only moments before. I smiled with triumph as the light swept back the darkness of the centuries to reveal the giant effigy of a dwarven king standing on a raised dais, his metal hand clutching his rod of office. This was a prize indeed. I circled the dais slowly, admiring the craftsmanship of the ancient dwarves. The Golden King stood 20 feet tall under a free-standing domed cupola, his long unswept beard jutting forward proudly as his glittering metal eyes seemed to follow me. But my superstitious mood had passed, and I gazed benevolently on the old dwarven king. My king, as I had already begun to think of him. I stepped onto the dais to get a better look at the sculpted armor. Suddenly, the eyes of the figure opened, and it raised a mailed fist to strike. I leaped to one side as the golden arm came crashing down, striking sparks from the steps where I had stood a moment before. With a hiss of steam and the whir of gears, the giant figure stepped ponderously out from under its canopy and strode towards me with frightening speed, its eyes tracking me as I scrambled backwards. I dodged behind a pillar as the fist whistled down again. I had dropped my lantern in the confusion, and now I crept into the darkness outside the pool of light, hoping to slip between the headless mechanisms and thus escape back to the safety of the passageway. Where had the monster gone? You would think that a 20-foot golden king would be hard to miss, but he was nowhere to be seen. The guttering lamp only illuminated a small part of the room. He could be hiding anywhere in the gloom. I crawled faster. Without warning, the dim ranks of dwarven soldiers in front of me went flying as the monstrous guardian loomed before me. He had cut off my escape. As I dodged backwards, blow after blow whistled down as the implacable machine followed me relentlessly, driving me into the far corner of the room. At last, there was nowhere left for me to go. My back was to the wall. I glared up at my foe, determined to die on my feet. The huge fist lifted for one final blow. The room blazed with sudden light. Bolts of purple energy crackled across the metal carapace of the dwarven monster, and it halted, half turning to meet this new threat. Master Aram had come. I was about to raise a cheer when the giant figure turned back to me. Unharmed by the lightning bolt hurled by Master Aram, determined to destroy this first intruder, I shouted out, "Steam! Steam!" As the giant raised his fist to crush me in the floor, there was a hiss and a gust of bitter cold, and I looked up. The monster was now covered with a shell of ice, frozen in the very moment of dispatching me. Master Aram had understood. I leaned against the wall with relief. The ice cracked above me. The giant golden king stood before me, the shell of ice falling away, his head swiveling towards me in triumph. Was there no stopping this dwarven monstrosity? But then the light faded from his eyes, and his arms dropped to his sides. The magical frost had worked, cooling its steam-driven energy. As Master Aram and the diggers crowded around me, congratulating me on my narrow escape, my thoughts drifted. I imagined my return to the Imperial City, and I knew that this would be my greatest triumph yet. How could I possibly top this one? Perhaps it was time to move on. Recovering the fabled Eye of Argonia? Now that would be a coup. I smiled to myself, reveling in the glory of the moment, but already planning my next adventure. I have a feeling I'm never going to get to play the game. I'm going to read all day and all night.
That was a beefy story.
That was a beefy story. Full of dwarven lore.
Hey, I liked it.
At least it wasn't written in redneck this time. Okay.
Oh, Brooke. Notice.
The Book of Daedra. Azura, whose sphere is dusk and dawn, the magic in between realms of twilight known as Moonshadow, Mother of the Rose, and Queen of the Night Sky. Boethia, whose sphere is deceit and conspiracy, and the secret plots of murder, assassination, treason, and unlawful overthrow of authority. Clavicus Vile, whose sphere is the granting of power and wishes through ritual, invocations, and pact. Hermaeus Moira, whose sphere is scrying of the tides of fate, of the past and future as read in the stars and heavens, and in whose dominion are the treasures of knowledge and memory. Hersign, whose sphere is the hunt, the sport of Daedra, the great game, the chase, known as the huntsman and the father of man-beasts. Oh my. Malakath, whose sphere is the patronage of the spurned and ostracized, the keeper of the sworn oath and the bloody curse. Mehrunes Dagon, whose sphere is destruction, change, revolution, energy, and ambition. Mephala, whose sphere is obscured to mortals, known by the names web spinner, spinner, and spider, whose only consistent theme seems to be interference in the affairs of mortals for her amusement. Meridia, whose sphere is obscured to mortals, who is associated with the energies of living things. Malog Bal, whose sphere is the domination and enslavement of mortals, whose desire is to harvest the souls of mortals and to bring mortal souls within his sway by spreading seeds of strife and discord in the mortal realms. Namira, whose sphere is the ancient darkness, known as the spirit Daedra, ruler of sundry dark and shadowy spirits, associated with spiders, insects, slugs, and other repulsive creatures, which inspire mortals with an instinctive revulsion. Nocturnal, whose sphere is the night and darkness, who is known as the Night Mistress. Periite, whose sphere is the ordering of the lowest orders of oblivion, known as the Taskmaster. Sanguine, whose sphere is hedonistic revelry and debauchery, and passionate indulgences of darker natures. That sounds like somebody we all know. Sheogorath, whose sphere is madness, and whose motives are unknowable. Vernima, whose sphere is the realm of dreams and nightmares, and from whose realm issues forth evil omens. Especially marked for special interest under the heading Malakath, you find a reference to Scourge, blessed by Malakath and dedicated to the use of mortals. In short, the reference suggests that any Daedra attempting to invoke the weapon's powers will be expelled into the void streams of oblivion. Of the legendary artifacts of the Daedra, many are well known, like Azura's Star and Sheogorath's Wabajak. Others are less well known, like Scourge, Makan's Hammer, Bane of Daedra. Yet, though Malakath blessed Scourge to be potent against his Daedric kin, he thought not that it should fall into Daedric hands, than to serve as a tool for private war among Qatif and Forsaken. Thus did Malakath curse the device such that, should any darkkin seek to invoke its powers, that a void should open and swallow that Daedra, and purge him into oblivion's void streams. From thence, the path find back to the real and unreal worlds in full order of time. Analhorn 56 says, Star Trek Picard now with tentacles? What?
That sounds like Hermaeus Mora.
Oh, well, yeah. That. More spoilers? Dumbledore dies. Oh my god. I believe we have been invaded. I know, right? Next up, during story time, Third Era, an abbreviated timeline, the last year of the Third Era, by Jaspis Ignatius. It has been said that citizens of the Empire who make the same mistakes as their forebears deserve to suffer the same fate. And while this may be true, it's hard to deny that the Empire's history is so long and our forebears have made so many mistakes. It's sometimes hard to keep track. This work is meant to serve as a concise compilation of the Empire's most recent events. In this, our current age, what we refer to as the Third Era, it is a period of time that has as yet comprised less than 500 years. But it should at least serve as a starting point for those who wish to study our empire's vast and varied history, and maybe, just maybe, prevent the repeat of a previous disaster. It is also worth noting that when viewed in such a succinct structure, one truly gets a sense of just how often our great empire has changed leadership. Indeed, it can be argued that much of the empire's history in these past 5 centuries is the changing rule of that empire itself. First century, 3EO, beginning of Third Era, when all provinces in Tamriel are unified. In year 38, death of Emperor Tiber Septim and crowning of Emperor Pelagius. In 41, assassination of Emperor Pelagius and crowning of Empress Quintiria. In 48, death of Empress Quintiria and crowning of Emperor Uriel I. In 64, death of Emperor Uriel I and crowning of Emperor Uriel II. In 82, death of Emperor Uriel II and crowning of Emperor Pelagius II. In 99, death of Emperor Pelagius II and crowning of Emperor Antiochus. 2nd century. 110, War of the Isle. 111, Knights of the Nine, founded by Sir Emil Lannis. 114, reported death of Empress Quintiria II. 119, birth of Pelagius III. 121, Uriel III proclaimed emperor. 121, War of the Red Diamond. 123, 23 Frostfall. Actual death of Empress Quintiria II in captivity in secret. 127, death of Emperor Uriel III and crowning of Emperor Sepphoris I. 137, death of Fatima, the Queen of Solitude. 140, death of Emperor Sepphoris I and crowning of Emperor Magnus. In 145, death of Emperor Magnus and crowning of Emperor Pelagius III. 153, death of Emperor Pelagius III. 153, Quiteria takes throne from husband, Pelagius becoming empress. 3rd century. 200, death of Empress Quiteria and crowning of Emperor Cassandir. 202, death of Emperor Cassandir and crowning of Emperor Uriel IV. 247, death of Emperor Uriel IV and crowning of Emperor Sepphoris II. 249, invasion of the empire by the Lich Comoran usurper. 253, Comoran usurper controls the Dwynnen region with Nightmare Host. 267, defeat of Comoran usurper. 268, crowning of Emperor Uriel V. 271 through 3E284, various conquests of Emperor Uriel Septim V. 288, invasion of Akavir by the forces of Emperor Uriel Septim V. 290. Death of Emperor Uriel V and crowning of Emperor Uriel VI. 4th century. 307. Uriel VI gains full power as emperor. 313. Death of Uriel VI and crowning of Empress Morahatha. 331. Publication of the second edition of A Pocket Guide to the Empire. Jesus. 339. Assassination of Empress Morahatha and crowning of Emperor Pelagius IV. 389. Jagar Tharn betrays Emperor Uriel Septim VII. 396. Regional wars throughout Tamriel. 396. The Arnesian War. 399. Defeat of Jagar Tharn. 399. The founding of the Orsinium. 5th century. 403. Assassination of Lysandus, the king of Daggerfall. 414. Vardenfell, territory opened for settlement. 417. The warp in the west occurs. 421. Greywind founds the Crimson Scars. 427. Beginning of the Blight Curse and Vardenfell, and arrival of the Nerevarine. 427. The Blood Moon prophecy comes to pass on the Isle of Solstheim. 432. Publication of the third edition of A Pocket Guide to the Empire. 433. Assassination of Emperor Uriel Septim VII. 433. The Oblivion Crisis. 433. The Knights of the Nine are reformed. How many more do we gotta do? How many more do we gotta do? No.
I'm personally okay with you wandering off and going to do some stuff, but reading occasionally, 2 or 3 books occasionally.
There we go. Then break time. Do 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 do. Boingy 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 boing. Save the voice. Open up Whiterun.
I'll open your Whiterun.
Oh my god. Pervert!
You're the pervert.
I'm a prevert. What are you talking about?
Point.
Let's see. Let's go. Let's become a companion. Boingy boingy boing.
Precisely what I'm doing right now.
Boingy. The question is, to be or not to be a werewolf? That is the question. But I want bonuses. You know what? Before I start Dawnstar and start playing with vampires, I'll be a werewolf. Come on. Taking bets. Who's gonna win? Come on. Come on. Is it the Dark Elf or the Nord? Dark Elf versus money on the dwarf, money on the Nord. Chicks rule.
Go Nord.
That's right, I'm gonna win. You pick Dark Elf, I pick the Nord. Let's do this. Oh, yeah! Woo! Woo! That's right, yield.
See, my money's on the Nord because she's smart and wearing a helmet. See, told you.
Oh, I had the Nord. Totally my pick. Now, let's go listen in on a conversation because we're rude. Yeah, I need a place to sleep. Yeah, go ahead. Check me out.
Yes,
I'm all that in a bag of chips, big boy.
You're not truly considering accepting her. I am nobody's masterpiece. Last I checked.
Because of that smart mouth that you just said, that ruins you from husbando material.
Apologies. But perhaps this isn't the time. I've never even
See,
heard
I
of
still
this
say Vilcus
outsider.
is the best.
Nope,
Sometimes
Vorstag.
things come to us.
Vilcus.
Vorstag, he was so
Or
sweet.
Farkas. Farkas is great.
Nope, nope.
What
Vorstag.
heart?
I don't know where he is, I've forgotten.
Of course.
I keep telling you where he is, but
And I keep forgetting.
I know.
Vilcus here will get started on it. Vilcus.
The moment I get a necklace of Mara, I'm gonna go get him.
He's in the Silver Blood Inn inside Markarth.
Markarth.
You know, the town that's way in the west.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
I've been there once. Shifty Eyes. The only...
Husband,
yeah, that's
last
it.
time.
Yeah. That's it. That's how I know.
Fresh blood. Hope you know how to handle yourself. I haven't seen you before.
What kind of weapons do I got? I got an axe.
Am I?
Yes.
Come on, big boy. Come play with me.
Gotten to
One day when you and I
go
are
make myself
the
into
old
a
man said to have a look at you. So, let's do this. Just have a few swings at me so I can see your form. Not bad. Next time won't be so easy.
I bloodied you. Ha 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 ha.
But for now, you're still a wealth to us, little bud. So you do what we tell you. Here's my sword. Go take it up to Yorland to have it sharpened.
Can I keep it?
It's probably worth more than you are.
So... Can I keep it?
It's a big no. Hard no.
I'm gonna keep it.
Hard no. 9.
See?
9,000.
I got your sword now. I got your sword now. And I'm a stabbing things. Damn, stamina low. Weak sausage.
It's a terrible sword.
Kinda is. Kinda disappointed.
Yeah, no, like, this is worth more than you bullshit it is.
I'm worth a lot. Hot pants, let's do this.
What brings you here?
See, this guy, he looks like the Witcher to me. I don't know. Like Skyrim's version of the Witcher.
Oh, don't worry too much about it. They were all whelps once. They just might not like to talk about it. Don't always just do what you're told. Nobody rules anybody but companions.
Someone has to be in charge, though.
I'm not sure how they've managed it, but they have.
No.
No leader since Yzgoroth. Kodlak is the harbinger, and he's a sort of advisor for the whole group. But every man is his own, and the woman her own.
Are you a companion?
Companion myself, but none of them know how to work a forge properly, and I'm honored to serve them. My name is Yorland Greymane. I work the Sky
He's not.
Forge. Best steel in all of Skyrim, all of Tamriel.
I mean, he's got dad hotness going for him. I need to get going. What is it?
Working on a shield for Aela. My wife is in mourning, and I need to get back to her soon. I'd be much obliged if you could take this to Aela for me.
I'm happy to lend a hand because you're nice and you actually asked. You didn't order me. You asked and you told me your wife is in mourning. So number one, can't have, you as a potential partner.
You said ass.
All right, where is she hiding? We don't need no stairs. I just jump.
She should
Yep, she's in her room.
If you wish to hunt with me, your good. I've been waiting for this. Wait, I remember you. So the old man thinks you've got some heart, I guess.
You know this one? I saw her training in the yard with Viltus.
Ah, yes. I heard you gave him quite the thrashing.
Don't let Viltus catch you saying that.
Do you think you could handle Viltus in a real fight? Ah, a woman who lets her actions speak for her. I knew there was something I liked about you. Here, let's have Farkas show you where you'll be resting your head.
Farkas. Did you call me?
Of course you did, Ice Brain. Show this new blood where the rest of the whelps sleep.
New blood. Oh, I remember you. Come on, follow me.
Oh, Mr. Krabby Pants, and that's why you're out of the husbando material.
Nora and Ayala like to tease me, but they're good
Lawrence
people.
never actually an option.
They challenge us to be our best.
I'm talking about this dude, Farkas, because his smart mouth.
Farkas isn't proud of you. That's not Farkas that was talking to you. That was Skjorn.
Well, Skjorn dies.
The quarters are
Farkas
up
is
here.
friendly as
Just
hell.
make a bed and fall in it when you're tired. Selma will keep the place clean. She always has. All right, so here you are. Looks like the others are eager to meet you. Come to me or Ayala if you're looking for work. Once you've made a bit of a name for yourself, Skjor and Vilkas might have things for you to do. Good luck. Welcome to the Companions. By the way, if you're looking for something to do, we've got trouble right here in Whiterun Hole. Nothing we can't handle. Bloodsuckers. Vampires. Take every precaution. One bite, we could end up as one of them. Excellent. Show them no mercy.
But I'm not a werewolf. I might end up being a vampire, even though I don't wanna. Come on, Snooty Booty.
If the circle vouches for you, I'm sworn to respect their judgment. That doesn't mean I like it.
See? Snooty.
Speak. I was the newest companion
Farkas
until
isn't
you came along.
snooty.
I guess that's okay. Just means I can show you the ropes. Good day.
Alright.
Most humble of humble. No hair.
Stamina. 4 days. Oh, I need to improve my speech, lockpicking, bows, my sneak. Yep. I'm level 3. Where did I put my other 2 points? Please say I put it in speech. I did. Okay, so speech I did. So I've got a point in speech, a point in sneak. Where did the third point go? Archery, maybe? No. Huh. What did I put it in? What time is it? Oh, it's only 3:30. It's early. Let's go play.
Speak.
No, I'm not speaking to you, wench. Crabby wench. I got some vampires to go play with, and a pretty lady at a forge to go talk to about learning how to blacksmith. In other words, I'm busy. Got things to do. And then we gotta read some books.
Neato.
I know your family's honor is important to you, but we can't afford it.
It took me weeks to find that thieves' den. I can't stop now, but I can't get the sword on my own.
So you're willing to starve your wife and daughter to reclaim some rusty old sword?
I just need to hire one, maybe two good men. You won't starve.
I'll put it plainly. You can claim your sword, or you can keep your wife. If you set foot outside that gate, I won't be here when you return.
You tried mercenary work? It might suit you. Sometimes I miss the soldier's life, but when I hold my daughter, my sapper doesn't like that I've been spending so much time looking for my father's old sword. He fed his entire family with the gold he made using that weapon. not about to let it gather dust in some thief's trophy room. I tracked it to a group of bandits nearby, but I'm no fool. I'd need the White-Run guards or maybe hire their companions to get it. I don't know why I'm saying this, but if you find it out in your travels, I'd be grateful to you. Wait,
Go get your wife, dude. What? I hear kids hustling.
No, please. I really don't have any money, Brave. I'll give you 10 seconds tomorrow. Just don't hit me. 10 seconds tomorrow, baby Battleborn. I'm gonna bloody your nose and your leg.
Wow. This chick's got a racket at such a tender young age. Wow. Oh my goodness. What a piece of work. Whew. Okie dokie. I got a date with the pretty girl at the forge. At the forge. I'm gonna go learn blacksmithing. Do do do.
Yes, Houseman. We leave immediately. It's just us against the bank. Is that it?
I can't afford to send anyone else. You don't know where the dragon is. Your main job will be to keep an eye out and get the people to safety if the town is attacked. I don't expect the three of you to fight off the dragon by yourselves, but I do expect you to do your duty.
Of course. We'll keep Riverwood safe. You can count on it. Let's move out. Time's a wasting.
Yes.
Bye. Bye, boys. Bye. I'll see you boys in River Run from now on. Alright, let me go talk to this pretty lady. See what's what.
Got some good pieces out here if you look. Yes.
Also, she wants you to fight dragon.
Iron dagger. Here's everything you need to make one. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go make an iron.
Inside the shop if you need it. Not too shabby. Apprentice level work, but solid. Keep at it.
Why are you going over here?
I help my father in more ways than people realize. Not bad, but it's a little dull. How about you sharpen it up? Just need a bit of metal and a grindstone.
Yes, ma'am. Although, why you went all the way around the corner?
You think all the... This looks good. You put time into your blades, they'll serve you well when you need them. You want to keep helping? How about you make some armor? Let's start by tanning some leather on the rack. Thanks for the business. Ah, good. A lot of weapons and armor need leather for straps fitting, that kind of thing. Let's see if you can make a hide helmet. Here's the rest of what you need.
Alright.
Take my lead then.
I'm not wearing a helmet currently. I could use one. Although I look prettier without something on my head.
I should hire you to be my assistant at this rate. Let's improve the fit. Take this leather to the workbench over there. Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything.
I'm tired of wearing Imperial stuff.
Have you met my father? He's
I'm gonna see if I can't make just some leather gear instead.
Run around buck naked.
I'm not gonna run around buck naked.
You have talent. Keep working at your craft and you'll be a fine smith one day. Why don't you keep that dagger and helmet? Maybe you will remember me when you're making Skyforge steel, huh? Until
Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can make regular leather armor stuff. Let's see what I need. Because I'm wearing Imperial stuff. I don't want to wear Imperial stuff. That's that one looking stuff. Let's see. Let's look at leather stuff. I like the way that looks. How much leather? I need 4 leather and 3 leather strips. Okay. Luckily, I'd been killing things. There we go. Oh. There we go. Some leather armor. And let's see if I can make it better. There we go. That's not too difficult. Leather armor, I can sell that. I need to get rid of these Imperial bracers, because I'm not an Imperial. So, bracers and boots. I'm out of supplies, man. There we go. Get stuff started. There we go, some nice bracers. And let's improve it. Oh crap, I'm out of leather? I was holding on to all those hides, but what's the point? Saber cat. Cave bear I gotta keep. There's a quest for cave bear pelts.
You hear me?
What?
Any book you find, you gotta read it.
I haven't found a book.
I know. Just saying next time.
You said I could take a little break, so I did. I ran down here.
It's over.
Oh, break's over. Oh my. Oh, more stories have been demanded. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to get to work. Jesus.
I gotta tease you somehow.
I guess so. Alright, I need boots. Hopefully I have just enough strips to improve it. I do. Boom, shakalaka laka laka.
Boom your shakalaka.
So leather boots, this, and I can sell all that Imperial stuff. Hey, where'd the hot chick go? Hey. Hey, Bloofer lady. Bloofer lady? Why aren't you at your station?
Got something for just about everybody. Give a holler if you have any questions.
Hi.
It's a war mate. Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
Okay. Can you buy my stuff? Except for that. Like that and that. Kind of want to keep that. And that. That's all you're going to buy from me? That's okay.
Good.
I can't afford anything.
Well met.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
You know what's wrong with Skyrim these days? Everyone is obsessed with death.
Oh, wait. Was there a book in there? Did I pass up a glowing book? man. My break's over. I forgot. I'm supposed to look.
Yeah.
Okay, I see nothing glowing. There's nothing in here. That goes to Whiterun. There's nothing behind the counter. I'm invading people's houses now, stalking their stuff. Aha! Surprise! Book time! You're gonna stalk me, aren't you? So we gotta read quick. Killing Before You're Killed by Eduardo Corvus. I've seen many a man rush headlong into battle, only to have their life cut short in an instant. I've been a trainer of the warrior arts for many spans, cut from the cloth of the great lineage of knights, blades, and even a distant sellsword or two. It's with this knowledge that I'll try to pen a brief treatise on the subtle art of war. Not mage fire, not archery, or criminal throat slitting, but war. Man on man, with nothing but a fine bit of steel between them. Now that's not dirty at all. Oh my. I didn't know this was going to get saucy. Tell me more. The first thing you'll need to learn is how to block. Oh my. The best way not to get killed is not to let the other man hit you. Use a shield. Use it well. Now you'll get tired from this. You may even get a little hurt. But a blocked blow is much better than a landed one. Over time, you'll get better, eventually shrugging off even the mightiest of hits. But beware. Your foes, if they're not base cur bandits, will know how to counter you. They'll hit you with everything they've got in order to open you up and keep on hitting. So watch for these powerful attacks. While it's still better to absorb the impact with a 1/4 inch of steel, it's best to try to just step out of the way. Remember, against spells your blocking is useless until you're trained. So get up on mages quickly and let them eat steel. Deserves them right for using a witch weapon. You can also block without a shield as well. Just across that blow with your sword, though this isn't nearly as effective. And if you decide you're fancy and want to wield 2 blades, you can't block at all, so don't even try. Without both hands on the hilt, you just won't have the strength to counter blows. But with a weapon in each hand, you are much more likely to take your opponent down quickly. The best defense, some say. To wield the blade, there are some fundamentals. Quick strikes are always good, but can be repelled. So watch for your opponent's own defensive postures. Wait for an opening, or create one with your own heavy attacks. Hammers hit hardest, but are slow. Same with maces and all blunt weaponry. Axes are a nice middle ground, while swords are the quickest, but won't stagger your opponent as efficiently with the hard hits. Keep an eye not to get too exhausted. Always try to save a little of your strength to counter blows, or even run. Keep moving during a fight. Never let yourself get cornered or surrounded. Pick your threats. Weak spellcasters that can hurt you quick are the first things I fell. The shield is not only your defensive tool. Put your shoulder into it and bash your opponent. This sends them flying and opens them up for quicker counter assaults. Even better, put extra weight into it and power bash your opponent. If they're small, this will put them on their knees. Bigger opponents cannot be staggered by heavy attacks. Only the power bash will really knock them around and create openings for you to exploit. So again, block, counter, bash. Hit them when they're down. They'll show no mercy, so why should you? Battle is about the offense, about catching your foe early and never relenting. Keep moving, keep swinging. If you consider yourself overly powerful, pick up a two-handed weapon and see your foes fall before you like wheat stalks. They're slow and unwieldy, but they shatter bones and cleave flesh better than anything. The graves are filled with many a mediocre swordsman. If you don't have the stomach for war, try a monk's work. But if you do travel the path of the warrior, learn the basics and keep your head firmly planted on your shoulders, or someone's bound to lop it off. A bit of light reading, eh?
You got small weapons as well as big. Mason, huh?
You can let me through.
You got all kinds.
Yeah, I heard you. I don't have anything else to sell, do I? No, I'm keeping that. That I need to sell. That I need to sell too. The keys, if somebody will buy them.
Nobody buys keys.
You
But
just...
they don't want
Petty Soul Gem, Magica Stamina, Flowers. Okay, let's go to the... You want to be a bard. Good for you, little Bettleborn. Grandma's Cabbage has apparently read all the books in Skyrim, and he regrets doing it. Is this a foreshadowing, my friend? Are you warning me that soon I will feel pain and suffering and regret? I really like this gentleman's name, Grandma's Cabbage. That's a great name. That's just oh, please tell me that's not glowing. The one behind him is... Dude, you're a creep. If I had a sister, I would sell her... Oh my god, rude!
Just a joke.
No! Oh my god, you would... Dude.
Your outrage, it amuses me.
You concern me, mister. That's all I can say. Should I sell my dagger? I made it myself. Kind of want to keep it. I keep that woodcutter's axe because that's where you make money.
Just don't get your preoccupation with cutting wood for money. You can easily just
Oops.
go kill things for money.
I didn't mean... You want me to put it back on... You want me to put it back on the table? It says I'm going to steal it, but I'm really not. I just want to put it back on the table since my fat ass knocked it over. Alright, I said I would read all the books. That's part of this challenge. But I would spend all evening doing nothing but reading.
True.
So what I think I'm going to do is, like, every room or place I walk into, I'll read a book. And then I'll get back to going on a quest or doing something. That way there's a balance. Because I think what I did in Dragon's Reach, just... That got to be a bit much.
You read 3 books, I think.
I'm going to start sticking to, like, maybe, like, one per visit. You know, I have to go back to Dragon's Reach, so I'll read another book then. I need to come back in here and sell things, so I'll read another book here. And just do it that way.
Maybe 1 or 2. If the one's short...
Then maybe 2. Speech increased. I can't keep it because it's stealing. Yeah, see, it's stealing. I'm not going to steal, but I still got the stuff. That one's not glowing. Uncommon taste. Did I read that one? According to the thing it did. So let's start with the top. Fall from Glory by Nithilis Ladari. The Thieves' Guild of Skyrim is something of an enigma. Within the last few decades, their order has gone from one of the largest, most influential criminal organizations in all of Tamriel to a small group of stragglers, barely able to wreak havoc in their home city of Riften. Although evidence that could explain this rapid decline has never surfaced, speculation has run rampant. One theory holds that the guild suffered a loss. It's strongly believed that their guildmaster was slain by one of their own. This guildmaster, known only as Gallus, maintained strong ties with many of the influential families in Skyrim. When he perished, those bonds perished with him. Without these bonds, the guild could no longer safely operate within Skyrim's hold. A second theory suggests that the guild is experiencing some sort of mystical curse, causing normal activities for its members to become exceedingly difficult. While there is no solid evidence to support this theory, the last 2 decades have seen an unusual rise in failed attempts by the guild to execute highly lucrative heists. Reasons for the presence of this supposed curse is being attributed to everything from the aforementioned murder to divine interference. In order to solve this mystery once and for all, I've spent the last 2 years infiltrating the Thieves' Guild. Initially, making contact with them in Riften proved difficult, as they're quite wary of outsiders. But through repeated efforts, I was able to gain their confidence. It's my hope that once I've gained access to some of the guild's leadership, I can learn more about their decline and publish a second volume of my work. Although helping the guild perform their petty crimes brands me as a criminal, I feel that it's a burden worth bearing. The mystery of the Thieves' Guild's fall from power needs to be solved, once and for all, as a matter of record and as a footnote to Skyrim's history. Okay, I am satisfied. Markiki Games, hello from Mexico. Buenas noches. I got to go last year to Mexico for the first time. I thought it was gorgeous. I had so much fun. I want to go back. And no, it wasn't for spring break or anything like that, but I did have a really good time. Grandma's Cabbage is wishing me good luck with the books of Skyrim. He regrets doing it. He says there were some really boring books. I truly believe that.
She's read some of the history ones.
Let's see. We're going to go deal with that vampire. Would you stop picking on this elderly woman?
No.
Oi.
She deserves it.
No, she doesn't. It's a Battleborn. Bad Battleborns.
All I can think about
Not.
is my son, my fall. They say that he was killed, but I know better. I know my son is alive. Those Battleborn, they're in with the Imperials. They know it too, and yet they lie to my very face. It's not wise to discuss it here. Please, if you truly wish to help, meet me at my home. I'll tell you the whole story.
Come on, let's go home. I'm gonna stalk you now. Do. No, Grandma's Cabbage, I am not young, and it was not spring break. I went to Mexico on my very first vacation with my husband, it was our 15th anniversary, and we had never had a honeymoon, and so Mexico was part of our trip. We went to Grand Cayman, and then we went to Mexico, and then we came home. So sorry to disappoint, not young. Hashtag super old.
My husband's older.
Welcome to our home.
Mother, what's the meaning of this? Who have you brought into our home?
Okay.
Adelstein, put that down.
By young, I mean 20 to 40. If you would guess the far end of your spectrum, then maybe.
I can't take any more of this. No weapons, please. Let's just talk.
All right, Mother.
Can I help you?
So, you're here to help? I know that Thorald's not dead. I just know it. The Imperials have him and are keeping him somewhere, but I don't know where. Those damn Battleborns. They know something. They're hiding it. They practically taunt us with it. They must have some sort of proof. There's gotta be something in that house of theirs. I just know it. I don't dare leave the house myself, so I need your help. Anything that confirms that Thorald isn't dead, but is being held captive. I know those Battleborns have it. They'd be hiding it, of course. Wouldn't want it to get out that they've been lying this whole time. But you might be able to butter them up enough to lower their guard. Best if you didn't mention to anyone that you saw me here.
Yeah. I am trying to... I gotta figure out... I think I have to wait until the daytime when they leave their house and then break in the back, if I remember correctly.
What are you trying to do?
I gotta break into the Battleborns and get proof.
You can go in broad daylight.
That's what I'm saying. Not right now. I think they've probably got it shut down.
Mm-mm. You can go in whenever.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's the temple. The hill's their house. I'm already lost.
See, your screen is lagging so far behind from what I'm hearing. I don't even know where you are.
Where is it located?
Just exit the inn or something. Oh no, you just exit.
Yeah, it was lagging way behind for me. I refreshed the page and now it's been a few seconds.
Kill leader, missing in action. There, find evidence. It's in there.
So, what books are they read for your kind? How about
The
lusty Argonian maid? I've heard.
lusty Argonian maid?
Oh yes.
What?
I'll read it. Do it. Read it.
Ah, look at this little turd.
I want to hear you read it.
This little turd's gotta go. That's right. That's why I have to wait till the daytime. I am not... You want me to read... Is there poor Dorothy in this game? Is that what you're telling me?
You
You guys are cruel.
me?
Yes. Of course you are.
You know me.
You're the one making me do all this reading and playing the game all the way through as it is.
I have made you do none of that.
It was between you and two other people as it is. You have to keep doing this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, some other people messaged you and like, when is story time?
That's true.
Yeah, you see, wasn't just.
That's true. All right, we're gonna go ahead and sleep so that little punk ass kid doesn't watch me break into that house. Usually by 9 a.m. everybody's gone. And here's a glowing book. So, like I said, every time we go somewhere, if I catch a book, we'll go ahead and read it.
Lusty Argonian maid.
That's not what I found. What I found is Songs of the Return, Volume 19. The second tale of the Gurmit. When that final battle at the Barren Pass was completed, and the melting snow carried elf blood back to the sea, the crew of the Kalkaz, the Sidon Wraith, and the most exalted crew of our Lord's ship, the Yiggermet, at last parted ways, never to join shields again. They drew apart in that form which is not a loss, but a gain in knowing's one heart can be carried in the chests of others. So great was the love that those first of the 500 had for each other, and most especially for the great Iskamor, harbinger of us all. They pressed eastwards, seeking the sea, when they came upon the barrow of Vingol, the mighty Iskamor's son, who had fallen to the whims of kine rather than the treachery of the elves. Our Lord had not expected to lay eyes upon it again so soon, and his grief flowed anew at the sight of it, as a reopened wound will bleed as it did when first received. His eyes turned to the south, where a river met the sea, and decreed that there would be that he and the crew of the Yiggermet create a great city, and monument to the glories of mankind, that from his palace he might always look upon the hill of his dear son's resting place, and feel that his line would know peace in this new home that was never known in Atmora. The elven captives were set to work, bringing forth stone to build in their conqueror's fashion. As many elves died in the building of the city, as had the crew of the Yiggermet slain while on the way to its site, and Iskamor drove the wretches evermore to build higher, to lay a claim to the river, so that none might pass into interior of this land without first showing due respect to its rightful claimant. Thus was the great bridge constructed, forever striding the river, that no elf might sneak through to avenge his devious cousins. As the bridge was built long, so too was the palace built high, spires reaching the sky to show dominion even over the very winds that had brought forth such a grief. In the deep hollows beneath the city, a great tomb was prepared for the day when Lord Iskamor, harbinger to us all, would be called home to the glory of Sovngarde. But as we know, he chose instead to be buried on the shore, facing toward Atmora, that though his heart lived and died in this new land, it would forever yearn for the beauties of still green Atmora, before the freezing took it. Thus was founding of Windhelm, the city of kings, though her history is long and her glories did not end with her founder. Bedtime! See this bed? Time to flop. Alright. That should be far enough. We'll get well-rested buff. And then we shall... See? I'm all rested. Shiny! I gotta see a man about a horse. Bye, Felicia's. Right? Wait. Right. Bye! I'm just here to use your bed. Okay. Now, I got a Battleborn to go play with. Do. Who are you?
I help my mother Arb with the hunt. We bring much meat and skins to the stronghold.
Okay. I need to break into this place.
Mother Uma is a strong warrior. I look forward to fighting her.
Please tell me this kid is not in the house. Oh, man. Damn it. So you gotta be real slick. See what you do. See what you do. So you shut the door. Dang it. There you go. Nice, soft... Oh my god, too many books. Okay, I've stolen the thing. There's lots of books in here to read, so... The Cake and the Diamond it is. The Cake and the Diamond by Ethan Wendell. I was in the Rat and the Pot, a foreigner corner club in Aldroon, talking to my fellow rats when I first saw the woman. Now, Breton women are fairly common in the Rat and the Pot. As a breed, they seem inclined to wander far from their perches in High Rock. Old Breton women, however, are not so migratory, and the wizened old biddy drew attention to herself, wandering about the room, talking to everyone. Nimloth and Oediad were at their usual places, drinking their usual stuff. Oediad was showing off a prize he had picked up in some illicit manner, a colossal diamond, large as a baby's hand and clear as spring water. I was admiring it when I heard the creaking of old bones behind me. "Good day to you, friends," said the old woman. "My name is Abel Credit, and I am in need of financial assistance to facilitate my transportation to Ald Redania." "You'll want to see the temple for charity," said Nimloth curtly. "I am not looking for charity," said Abel. "I'm looking to barter services." "Oh, don't make me sick, old woman," laughed Odad. "Did you say your name was Abel Credite?" I asked. "Are you related to Abel Credite, the High Rock alchemist?" "Closely related," she said, with a cackle. "We are the same person. Perhaps I could prepare you a potion in exchange for gold. I notice that you have in your possession a very fine diamond. The magical qualities of diamonds are boundless." "Sorry, old woman. I ain't giving it up for magic. It was trouble enough stealing this one," said Odad. "I've got a fence who will trade it for gold." "But your fence will demand a certain percentage, will he not? What if I could give you a potion of invisibility in exchange? In return for that diamond, you could have the means to steal many more. A very fair exchange of services, I would say." "It would be, but I have no gold to give you," said Oedad. "I'll take what remains of the diamond after I've made the potion," said Abel. "If you took it to the Mages Guild, you'd have to supply all the other ingredients, pay for it as well. But I learned my craft in the wild, where no potion makers existed, to dissolve diamonds into dust. When you must do it all by hand, by simple skill, you are blessed with remnants those fool potion makers at the guild simply swallow up." "That sounds all very nice," said Nimloth, "but how do we know your potion is going to work? If you make one potion, take the rest of the Oedad's diamond and leave, we won't know until you've gone whether the potion works or not." "Ah, trust is so rare these days," sighed Abel. "I suppose I could make 2 potions for you, and there'd still be a little bit of the diamond left for me. Not a lot, but perhaps enough to get me to Ald Redania. Then you could try the first potion right here and now and see if you're satisfied or not." "But," I interjected, "you could make one potion that works and one that doesn't, and take more of the diamond. She could even give you a slow-acting poison, and by the time she's got to Ald Redania, you'd be dead." "Oh, bleedin' Kinnereth, you Dunmer are suspicious. I will hardly have any diamond left, but I could make 2 potions of 2 doses each, so you can satisfy yourself that the potion works and has no negative effects. If you still don't trust me, come along with me to my table and witness my craft if you like. So it was decided that I would accompany Abel back to her table where she had all her traveling bags full of herbs and minerals, to make certain that she was not making two different potions. It took nearly an hour of preparation, but she kindly allowed me to finish her half-filled flagon of wine while I watched her work. Splintering the diamond and powdering the pieces required the bulk of the time. Over and over again she waved her gnarled hands over the gem, intoning ancient enchantments, breaking the facets of the stone into smaller and smaller pieces. Separately, she made paste of minced bittergreen, crushed red bulbs of Delarcal spay, and driblets of Siciliani oil. I finished the wine. "Old woman," I finally said with a sigh, "how much longer is this going to take? I'm getting tired of watching you work." "The Mages Guild has fooled the populace into thinking alchemy is a science," she said. "But if you're tired, rest your eyes." My eyes closed, seemingly of their own volition. But there had been something in that wine, something that made me do what she asked. "I think I'll make up the potion as cakes. It's much more potent that way. Now tell me, young man, what will your friends do once I give them the potion?" "Mug you in the street afterwards to retrieve the rest of the diamond," I said simply. I didn't want to tell the truth, but there it was. "I thought so, but I wanted to be certain. You may open your eyes now." I opened my eyes. Abel had made a small presentation on a wooden platter, 2 small cakes, and a silver cutting knife. "Pick up the cakes and bring them to the table," said Abel, "and don't say anything except to agree with whatever I say." I did as I was told. It was a curious sensation. I didn't really mind being her puppet. Of course, in retrospect, I resent it. But it seemed perfectly natural at the time to obey without question. Abel handed the cakes to Odad, and I dutifully verified that both cakes were made the same way. She suggested that he cut one of the cakes in half, and she would take one piece and he'd take the other, just so he would know that they worked and weren't poisoned. Odiad thought it was a good idea, and used Abel's knife to cut the cake. Abel took the piece on the left and popped it into her mouth. Odiad took the piece on the right and swallowed it more cautiously. Abel and all the bags she was carrying vanished from sight almost instantly. Nothing happened to Oedad. "Why did it work for the witch and not for me?" cried Odiad. "Because the diamond dust was only on the left-hand side of the blade," said the old alchemist through me. I felt her control lessening as the distance grew, and she hurried invisibly down the dark Aldruin street, away from the rat in the pot. We never found Abel Chirdite or the diamond. Whether she completed her pilgrimage to Aldredenia is anyone's guess. The cakes had no effect except to give Odiad a bad case of droops that lasted for nearly a week. Ew! He kind of deserved it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna mug.
He's gonna mug the old lady. Okay, one book read. Now to go back to questing. Do 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 do. So where is this old biddy? Oh shit. Oh, I lucked out. Hi, how you doing? How you doing? You doing? Yeah? Yeah, we good? We good? We good? Anybody see me? Anybody seeing me? You see me? You see me? You see me? Dang it. There we go.
Do you have news?
There we go.
Let me see, please. The Thalmor. By the 9. It's worse than I thought. So, North Watch Keep. Then we know where to hit him. I'll do anything if it means saving my brother. You'll join us, won't you? Thorald can't be left to those monsters. I'll round up what men I can and meet you outside North Watch Keep. We'll get in and out as fast as possible. I'll see you there.
Nice. Look at all these quests I'm getting. Oh crap. I enter a house. I guess I have to go look at your nightstands. See if y'all got any books for me to read. I'm not seeing any. Anything over here? Any? Nope. Nope. I might get away without having to read a book. Never mind.
You had to say something.
I jinxed myself. No! I'm gonna do the thing. Do not be the Argonian. Oh, this is gonna be a long one. That's a long one. Gods and worship. I know that one's not hopefully long. I hope. Knock on wood. An overview of gods and worship in Tamriel by Brother Hetchfield.
It's a book about religion. It's gonna be forever.
It looks like it is. Editor's note. Brother Hetchfeld is an associate scribe at the Imperial University Office of Introductory Studies. Oh dear Lord, I picked wrong. Gods... Shush it. You really want me to find that book and read it? I don't...
Oh yeah.
I
just want to hear the blush.
Oh my. Gods are commonly judged upon the evidence of their interest in worldly matters. A central belief in the active participation of deities in mundane matters can be challenged by the reference to apparent apathy and indifference on the part of gods during times of plague or famine. From intervention in legendary quests to manifestations in common daily life, no pattern for the gods of Tamriel activities is readily perceived. The concerns of gods in many ways may seem unrelated or at best unconcerned with the daily trials of the mortal realm. The exceptions do exist, however. Many historical records and legends point to the direct intervention of one or more gods at times of great need. Many heroic tales recount blessings of the divinity bestowed upon heroic figures who worked or quested for the good of a deity or the deity's temple. Some of the more powerful artifacts in the known world were originally bestowed upon their owners through such reward. It has also been reported that priests of high ranking in their temples may, on occasion, call upon their deity for blessings or help in time of need. The exact nature of such contact and the blessings bestowed is given to much speculation, as the temples hold such associations secret and holy. This direct contact gives weight to the belief that the gods are aware of the mortal realm. In many circumstances, however, these same gods will do nothing in the face of suffering and death, seeming to feel no need to interfere. It is thus possible to conclude that we, as mortals, may not be capable of understanding more than a small fraction of the reasoning and logic such beings use. One defining characteristic of all gods and goddesses is their interest in worship and deeds. Deeds in the form of holy quest are just one of the many things that bring the attention of a deity. Deeds in everyday life, by conforming to the statutes and obligations of individual temples, are commonly supposed to please a deity. Performance of ceremony in a temple may also bring a deity's attention. Ceremonies vary according to the individual deity. The results are not always apparent, but sacrifice and offerings are usually required to have any hope of gaining a deity's attention. While direct intervention in daily temple life has been recorded, the exact nature of the presence of a god in daily mundane life is a subject of controversy. A traditional saying of the Wood Elves is that one man's miracle is another man's accident. While some gods are believed to take an active part in daily life, others are well known for their lack of interest in temporal affairs. It has been theorized that gods do in fact gain strength from such things as worship through praise, sacrifice, and deed. It may even be theorized that the number of worshippers a given deity has may reflect on his overall position among the other gods. This is my own conjecture, garnered from the apparent ability of the larger temples to attain blessings and assistance from their god with greater ease than smaller religious institutions. There are reports of the existence of spirits in our world that have the same capacity to use the actions and deeds of mortals to strengthen themselves as do the gods. The understanding of the exact nature of such creatures would allow us to understand with more clarity the connection between a deity and the deity's worshippers. The implication of the existence of such spirits leads to the speculation that these spirits may even be capable of raising themselves to the level of a god or goddess. Matusio of the Imperial Seminary has suggested that these spirits may be the remains of gods and goddesses who through time lost all or most of their following, reverting to their earliest, most basic form. Practitioners of the old ways say that there are no gods, just greater and lesser spirits. Perhaps it is possible for all three theories to be true. That one wasn't so bad. Wait, I want to leave. Why do I have to... Yeah, there we go. I was going to say, I unlocked one of these doors. Now, we have been streaming for almost 2 hours. So, I'm going to pick a quest. And we're going to make our way to that location. And it says it's this way. So, where is it? It's way over there. Looks like I have to go to the stable. It's the closest I can get. Or is it? Wait a minute. Where's it at? There? Well, Falkreath is a pretty long run. So, nope. Go to the road. Make some haste. And make our way. There's our bearings. Hopefully this time. See, there's an arrow. I can follow an arrow. But don't ask me what direction I'm going or tell me what direction to go. I will totally go the wrong way. Let's see if we can't make haste to do this, and... You're right. Anal Horn 56. the clairvoyance. I'm one of those few people that actually kind of has to use it. Why didn't I go ahead and get credit for this Western Tower? That way I can fast travel to it later. I'm standing on it. Why so not give me credit?
Been seen in the company of the companions. That's an honorable path you're on, friend.
True story, bruh. Haha. Apparently I'm not going to get credit for that today. Probably not until I have to do a dragon or something there. Which I think I want to at least get my Valkyrie hold going. Does this count as a location? Nope. Okay. I do believe there are bandits in this structure up here, so we're gonna sneak for a few minutes. And hurry up. And hopefully you guys can't hear my belly growling. I am freaking hungry. Butterfly. Do.
I returned, and I have chicken.
See, I'm hungry. I'm not close enough to get credit for being here. There we go, Fort Greymore. That's what I wanted. We're gonna go around you guys so you don't shoot at me. See? Nothing to see here. Yeah, nothing to see here. Cut through this way. Let's see, you're hungry, I'm hungry. It is definitely time for dinner. I think what we'll do is we'll get to the location of the cave, we'll save the game, and we'll pick up story time tomorrow? I finished the painting, and once it dries tomorrow, I'll look at it and make sure it doesn't need any touch-ups. So I'll have a lot more time to...
Kerrigan's cat followed me into my room after she smelled my chicken.
Crap, I've been discovered.
It's me.
Yeah.
I see you. I watch.
I'm seriously discovered. And I'm not doing damages. I should have stolen that really good bow.
Told you to. When in doubt, always steal it.
No loots? No fat loots?
That's banjo, not a loot.
Hey, that wolf had gold. I want to know...
He ate somebody with gold coin purse.
I guess so.
He doing looting gold out of a wolf.
It attacked me? So I
You
defend...
need to reach your hands deep into its bowels and pull out whatever money you can find.
I am detected by what? It faded real quick. Oh, there's a dude. Is he a mean dude? I don't trust him. I want to make it to our location. And I forgot to pull something out of the freezer to cook for dinner tonight. I wonder if I could bat my eyes and see about not cooking tonight. Ooh.
I think the bunny will allow it.
I forgot. I mean, tonight it is my turn. But maybe if I suggest something tasty. Ooh, hey, we leveled up. We leveled up. What? Stamina all day, every day. What do we want to start up? We did the point in speech, I think. Yes, we did. Okay. I think we put the one in sneak. We did. We need to do the one in archery. There we go. We're level 4, and I'm going the... How the heck did I start going the wrong direction again? Man, I'm talented. I can get lost. I can get lost in a hallway. But at least I own up to it. You know what sounds good tonight?
Chili.
No, I made that earlier this week. That lasted us 2 days. I made a big old vat of chili. Ooh, doggies.
Pizza?
No, I can't eat. You know I can't eat pizza.
Chicken.
Do you know that's been the one thing you can't get at the grocery store? Like, legit. We have tried to get chicken for 2 weeks. And everyone's hoarding chicken. Every time we go to the meat counter...
Definitely worth hoarding, that's for sure.
Well, we've been able to get, like... The only thing we've been able to get is the higher quality, more expensive cuts of steak. And we were able to get a couple of, like, stuffed pork chops and whatnot. So that's what we ate during the week, but dang, just regular grocery shopping is a challenge. I tried grocery shopping today. We were low on toothpaste, we were low on kitty litter, so I ran to Walmart, and there's signs everywhere that things like soap and toilet paper and whatnot, you can only buy one at a time. And I went, okay, that's no problem. I just need 1 pack. It's just Bunny and I. You know, with just 2 of us, simple. Just, it's a regular, normal run. None to be had. None. I did look out and finally getting some hand soap, because we were getting really low on that. But, and cat litter. I was able to do that, which is good, because it was getting dangerous. You know, you can't neglect the fuzzies. And, oh, here's the entrance. We made it. And it's going on 6 o'clock. This is a great time to stop. That we've put in about a couple of hours in. We've read several books. I think this is a good amount of story time. There's no... I could have sworn River Song had a save. I guess she didn't. Okay. Alright. Everybody, thank you for hanging out. I think this is a great place to stop. I finished my last painting commission today. Like I said, all I gotta do is touch it up. And my voice is getting stronger. I have been sick. It goes in and out. But if it's up tomorrow, story time will happen again. We'll continue to conquer more of Skyrim. And maybe I'll actually learn something. Become a companion. Maybe become the Thane of Whiterun and Falkreath. You know, we'll see what we can do. And I know the one thing I'm going to hold off on doing is I'm going to hold off on the Civil War stuff for as long as possible. I want to try to get as much reading in as while we do this together.
To be 100% honest, you'll never have to do the story or the Civil War thing.
All right, that sounds good too.
Yeah, I'm happy to miss that because
Yeah,
it kind of messes up the game.
I think it does too, but I've only ever seen it once.
The entire game.
Gotcha. Sounds like a plan.
The entire game?
Avoid the Civil War thing.
So, I guess this is where I say goodnight, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me, and for my friends who joined me on Discord and witnessed everything. My moderators, thanks for moderating. I appreciate you very much. Everyone, have a great evening, and I'll see you next time.